Hello, my name is Coach Rad and I'm the author of Lion's Smoking Cessation Method. I'm the founder of Lion's Institute of Southern Europe and I will be your guide through this training. In Lion's Smoking Cessation Method training, you will receive the tools necessary for crushing the grip of nicotine and breaking the chains of addiction. This training is good for people who have made the decision to stop smoking but not really sure how to do it, and for the people who are realizing that they will soon need to change this habit. The steps are really easy. You're gonna learn how to crush the belief that keeps you smoking, learn how to create a vision of the lion's life, and you will also learn the resources, how to find and keep and call resources necessary to create necessary change. If you have made a decision to stop smoking, it is possible that somewhere along this training you stop smoking. It will probably gonna happen, but nevertheless, go to the end of the training. If this doesn't happen, make a decision when you're gonna smoke the last cigarette. Once again, we will not tell you to set a quit date. That can be any date. It can be today or some next day in the next month or two. In this training, you will learn how to create a vision of yourself as a lion, as a person who is living the lion's life. And that vision is necessary to change this habit. So, let's begin with our first training. Welcome to the first DVD of this training. In this training video, we will learn how to crush the beliefs that keeps us smoking. Most common belief that each person addicted to nicotine keeps in the grip of nicotine are these. As you can see in the first slide, first belief we're going to talk about is, does your body know the difference between being a smoker for a year or 25 years or 5 days or 600 days? Second belief is that we're gonna talk about is power of propaganda that's surrounding smoking. Third belief, if I quit smoking, I will suffer first. That's really important. And the fourth subject we're gonna cover here is, why do we smoke? What are the triggers that keeps us smoking? So, the first question we're gonna ask ourselves today is, does our body know the difference between being a smoker for a year or 25 years, or even a day or 600 days, or 25, it doesn't matter. As you can see here in this picture on the first slide, we have an iceberg, and as you probably saw this image before, we see very little of the iceberg above the water, while majority of iceberg is deep underwater. Sometimes in really dark waters that even hard to see. This here image represents our mind. How long are we smoker? A year or 2 years or 25 years is familiar only to our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is this mind that pays attention to this video, that sees the colors of the background of the video, see the shape of my face and notice distinction on my face. And that mind can tell you how long have you been smoking. Our subconscious mind have no clue how many years did we smoke. Our addiction is actually stored in our subconscious mind, and what our subconscious mind actually knows is this: if this person, if Rad or you or Joe or Mary or whoever takes a puff of smoke, it will get the supply of dopamine. And dopamine is not bad. Dopamine is essential hormone of our brain that actually makes possible for us to get up in bed, that gives us any will for life. It makes possible to go to gym, to go to work, to be awake for 16 hours a day, and so on and so forth. Therefore, what our brain, the only thing our brain knows is this: take a cigarette, get a dopamine, feel good, and repeat. And our brain doesn't care, our subconscious mind doesn't care if that is happening for a year, 20 years, or 100 years. It really doesn't matter. So what will often happen in our life after when we start thinking about being a smoker, our brain will start imagining stories, science fiction that based on some previous experiences of stories of other people that we don't, that's not even our belief, it's other people's beliefs that we accepted. Our brain will think the same way, if I played basketball for 10 years, I will be really good at playing basketball later, and it will be hard for me to forget how to play basketball. The same belief is applied to smoking. I've been smoking for so long that it will be really hard to me to stop doing that because I'm really good at it. The thing is, you're not good at it. It's just a process that your brain learned to maintain a constant supply of dopamine. Too much dopamine is wrong. The thing is, as soon as you realize that there are other ways to get dopamine, like simple walk, if you artificially smile 3 times like this, these muscles will send signal to your brain to start releasing the dopamine. So whatever message you get from your subconscious mind and you notice it, always know that it's a lie. And on the end of this training, on the end of this video, you will get a little special training how to do that. Once again, I want to tell you that you send me on my email here that you see on the bottom of this video. I will to send me a video. What do you think about these beliefs? Did you notice them before? What do you think about it, and how do they manifest it to you? Okay, so next belief that we are going to cover is belief that comes from propaganda. 100 years ago, tobacco industry figured out that they can earn a little more money if they make possible for larger population of people to smoke, because cigarettes doesn't really cost much to make, maybe 5 cents per pack, and the money behind it is huge. And money to earn from that 5 cents is like huge. It's like for every 5 cents, the big tobacco makes like $1 or more. So what did they do? They figure out that they make smoking a type of lifestyle, a type of lifestyle that makes every person thinks that if they smoke, that they are valuable human beings, that they're socially accepted, that they are beautiful, that they are sexy, that they are a good student, that smoking releases the pain, and so on and so forth. And during these 100 years, people organically start imagining and making up stories about smoking, just to justify the fact that they are addicted. Okay, so you could see a photograph of women smoking. You could see, like on this video, you have like a physician offering cigarettes to doctors offering a cigarette to smoke. Yes, you have here a beautiful lady that takes a cigarette from a guy. So basically, they're saying if you can get a girl, or a girl can get a hot guy by taking cigarettes. And most of that propaganda came through the media, like TV and radio and so on and so forth. So our brains are pre-programmed to be addicted. Ever since we were little children, we were bombarded by stories, even if they are not anymore of TV or they are forbidden for advertising in most countries. We are still, as a children, constantly bombarded by made-up stories how cigarettes are good for us to be accepted in society, to be loved, to be good fed, to get a good job, to get a good date, to basically, and in the later years, to be yourself. Because you cannot be yourself if you don't have smoke from burned weed, burned grass, basically, that comes out of your mouth. It's impossible to be cool like that. So as you're thinking about smoking, somewhere from your subconscious mind are coming the messages that tells you that you are not self-sufficient if you're not smoking. And here I am to tell you, you are sufficient, you are enough, and there is no thing in the world that can disturb disrupt your value to this planet. And in one of the next videos, I will explain how your value is undestructible. So, third belief, really powerful belief. This belief is so much hidden behind all those stories like I feel tired, I feel good, I feel good after sex, I feel good after work if I smoke. I love my cigarette after dinner, after lunch, after breakfast, after being born, after waking up, after sleep, before going to toilet, before taking the exam, before going to work, before and after break and during the break, blah blah blah. There is something. This belief is so masked in everything, and it goes like this: if I quit smoking, I will suffer first, or I need to suffer if I want to stop smoking. This is not really true. This belief is actually fear of anxiety. Okay, so anxiety, first let's explain what is anxiety and where it comes from. Our lizard brain is programmed 200, 300,000 years when we were still when there was a still chance to meet some wild beasts that can harm us. This anxiety had its function, and that is to start a flight, fright, or freeze mechanism in us, so we could fight to defend ourselves, freeze, to fall into apathy, to calm down before a storm passes, or to flight, to run away. So, 200,000-300,000 years later, today, we don't really meet so much danger as we used to. 90% of the dangers in our life are actually imagined, and they never happen. Yes, that's true. Most of the things that we worry, they never happen. But those emotions are triggered by expectation. In the expectation, we are constantly in survival mode. We are in survival mode. That keeps us alert about potential danger that can happen. But in reality, those dangers cannot really hurt us. My boss gonna yell, kids gonna scream. If I stop smoking, I'm gonna feel bad. How do you know that you're gonna feel bad? Maybe you will feel fresh air and you will feel happy, but once you feel that you're feeling bad about smoking, you will say, oh, I was right. Well, you will also feel good about it, But that anxiety basically confirms our fears. And in this context of quitting smoking, it helps our brain to send us a message that we take another cigarette. Okay? So, as I said, all of these beliefs are having a function to keep us smoking, to help our brain keeps us addicted so the brain could have stable mechanism to secure supply of dopamine. Okay? And as I said, anxiety serves to that goal. The first two beliefs, you're gonna learn how to overcome those follow messages that those beliefs create by simple technique that I'm going to give you on the end of this video. The anxiety belief is you're going to learn in the third video of this training, where we're going to learn about eliminating the cravings, because cravings are nothing more than a form of anxiety that keeps us smoking. Okay? So, before we go to the training, I want you to send me an email, to write down on paper first, what do you think about these beliefs that you just heard, these informations that you just heard, and send me an email so I could hear your thoughts about it and answer your possible questions. So, let's move to the fourth part of this video, and that's why do we smoke? What are the triggers of smoking? In my case, when I started smoking, I started because I didn't have much money. I was a student. For a few bucks, we could buy a pack of cigarettes and drink coffee all day, and it made me feel wealthy. It made me feel important because I could smoke. I could burn my money through cigarette and send it to air to smoke. So there's a there are triggers who fall into group of status triggers. Who we are we rich, what do we represent, am I cool, am I jet setter, am I this or that. The second group of triggers are social triggers. So we get into group of people that we want to be friends with, and we start smoking so we could fit in, so we could get recognition. And there's a third group of triggers to start smoking, and those triggers can be grouped in category that we call stress. So without proper tools to overcome stressful situation, like bad news that we just had, that we have some situation like encounter with our boss, or encounter with our teacher, with our professor, or some task that we need to fulfill. We are not educated how to overcome those stresses, or in best case, we are not trained to know that nothing bad will happen to us, even if it does. In some cases, it can be some catastrophic consequences, but most of people don't have that experience, and they just simply cannot handle stress. And what do? They take cigarette and smoke their stress away. But that's not really true. The real reasons for having a bad reaction to that stress in that way is our lack of knowledge how to overcome it. And during this training, you're gonna also learn how to overcome those stressful situations and learn how to handle them properly. Okay, again, write your thoughts about this, and type it out in an email and send it to me. Okay. And now we came to the end of this video, and now you're gonna learn how to overcome false messages that are built on false beliefs that keep you smoking. So these techniques we call spam email. So we all have our email addresses. Of course you couldn't buy this training if you hadn't. So in each email service that we have something that calls spam messages or junk mail. What goes to that spam messages? In those spam messages, there are in that spam folder go all the email that our service provider recognizes as a spam and send it there, or messages that we mark as spam and tell our system to send that message to the spam folder. What happens after that? We decide to ourselves, well, I will check those messages later and see what I'm going to do with it. And most often we forget about it, and our system after 30 days it deleted it or send it to archive. Now, our brain cannot really delete any messages that we have, because our messages are our thoughts, and it's kind of impossible to get them out of our head. But that's good, because our brain is unlimited, has unlimited power of learning, and the more you give your brain, the more it can take. What really happens to our brain is that we just don't focus anymore on some messages. The most of messages that we focus on are messages that are really in alignment with our beliefs and with our everyday activities. And when I'm saying messages, I am talking about our thoughts and our thought process. Okay, so what we can do when I get a message in my brain, like email, I see an inbox, I open and I see a first message. It has a big black headline saying, "Oh, I'm so tired, I need to take a cigarette to relax." What you can do, you take that thought and say, okay, I acknowledge you. There's no judging, there's no trash talking to those messages, because it is yours, it's your product. And what comes from you needs to be taken care of with respect. And the first person need to take respect to that is you. Give respect to yourself by giving respect to what you do and evaluate it correctly. And in this process, we see that message, we hear it, we smell it, we see those black letters or purple letters or you give it any color you want. It's your brain, it's your imagination. So you receive the message from your brain that's related, that helps to keep you addicted. And you read, oh look, my brain is telling me that I'm really tired and I need to take a cigarette. Okay, I will remove this message in the hypothetical email box, spam box, and I will deal with that later. Okay, and go with your life. Okay, go drink a coffee, go meet some people, go in a bed, take a walk, yell and sit in a car and yell if that's your thing. Sometimes I do yell. It makes me feel good. Okay, if it's necessary, yell in the air or something. And when you get home, check that thought again and ask yourself, is it true? If it's not, say thank you, and you probably see that has no value for you. Say thank you and send it to archive. Why is this working? Okay, why is this working? Because our brain has 60,000 thoughts during a day. That's like 100 Bibles running through your head. Okay, our brain have capability. Our conscious mind, you remember that iceberg? Okay, see it here on the slide. Our conscious mind can take attention at one point on only on 6 or on 5 to 9 thoughts at a time. That's its attention span of our subconscious mind. Sometimes it's not even 5, it's 3. So from 3 to 9, but most common 5 things. And our brain is lazy and it's gonna decide what is important and what is not. Okay, so let's repeat this message. When you receive a thought like, oh, I'm tired, I need a cigarette. Notice that thought, look it in your inbox, say, oh, there you are. Say thank you to that thought, send it to spam and say, I will check on you later. And really do that, okay? When you have your private time for yourself, your space, check that message and see how you feel about it now. And thank it after it and send it in the archives, okay? Okay, so you got my email. Tell me what you think about this. Send me any questions you have about this. I would like to hear your thoughts. And see you in the next video. I'm Coach Red, and I'm your guide through your life of a non-smoker, the new normality.